What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Web4 Roundtable episode 241, powered by the Cosmos. Today, our show is sponsored by none other than at Gilmore_Estates, building here on Hedera. Go check out what they're doing, show them some love. Sponsored by GC Token as well. Token ID 0.03241481, tokenizing real estate on Hedera. Hedera, again, massive shout out to our sponsor of our show here today. Just getting my studio set up. Give me 1 second to just share my screen and get the show started. Feel free to request to come up and speak. Let me share the speaker invite if you want to come up on our live stream in our alpha chat here. For whatever reason, just yet. Happy to bring you up as a speaker in the live stream as well. And then, of course, on X, if you are in our space, hit that button on the bottom left to request to speak, to come up here today and join us here for episode 241 of the Web4 Roundtable. There is a lot of alpha to cover per usual. Today, we're going to focus more so on a lot more of HBAR daily news. Of course, we'll cover our TA. We didn't cover yesterday because we did have an interview with the Mindbed team. Shout out to George and Jaguar. If you guys missed yesterday's show, it is pinned on my X account. So if you guys missed the show yesterday, let me pull it up so you guys can actually see what is going on here yesterday as well. And of course, friendly reminder, all of our shows are live streamed on X and on YouTube as well at the same time. So if you have not gone and subscribed to our YouTube channel, feel free to jump over on X here, follow my account at IPEX Trades. And you can hit this link here to go and subscribe. As long as you are signed in on YouTube, it's called the Web4 Roundtable on YouTube. Again, they're all live streamed, and then we have YouTube Shorts as well, just short form content if you missed any of our previous shows. And then again, friendly reminder, our previous shows are always going to be pinned at the top. So again, if you missed any of our previous shows, so yesterday, for example, we did have an interview for Mindbend and their team. So make sure to go shoot them a follow if you want to learn more about what's going on. And then friendly reminder, tomorrow we will following up with part 2 of that interview. So stay tuned for that if you're looking forward to more gameplay announcements and breakdowns, all that good stuff. Shout out to everyone in the space that I can see. George, what's good, brother? Kabanga, Shady, Michael, and everyone else in the space, and then all about 100 or so of you in the live stream as well. What's good? I hope you guys are all doing well. Jaguar, I saw you just joined. What's good, brother? Don't forget to like and retweet the show here today. It is the best way to show your support to the Web4 Roundtable. Again, liking, retweeting, hitting that button on the bottom right. You're more than welcome to exit now and like and retweet. It only takes a couple seconds. Again, best way to support our show. And then also, those of you guys that have been starting to bark recently with the H bark, let me find the website. Give me 1 second to pull it up here. Let me actually refresh it because I believe there's a leaderboard that's circulating on it. So let me just show you guys really quick. So if you guys have not been barking, let's see here. Give me 1 second to pull it up. It looks like it needs to be refreshed a little bit. What's up, Saucy Girl? I see Michael joining us as well. What's up, everyone? And then again, everyone in the live stream. I can't see all of you, unfortunately. I see who is this? H Barbarian TPS Step Function. What's up? And then again, everyone in the live stream. I can't see all of you, but I do see quite a few of you are here. So shout out to all of you guys. If you guys want to bark, best way to do it is actually leave it in the comment section. I don't think it works on the live stream side, on the live chat. So definitely go hit the button on the bottom right on the space, in particular, any of our posts, and feel free to share some barks. I believe you're able to trade in your bark power for tokens at some point once the season's over. So if you want to show your support, you're grateful for our shows here, you want to show us some love. It's really great to be on the leaderboard, to see all these amazing H Barbarians up here as well. So shout out to all of them. We haven't really unpacked what is going on with hbark.club. You can see amazing H Barbarians up here as well. So I'm very much looking forward to yesterday I set it up finally last night at some point. So I've been barking back at some people with some of the power. I picked up some of my own tokens. And then of course once the season is over, I'm more than happy to use more of that bark power to continue to reward people that have been supporting me as well. So again, if you want to support me as well, you're more than welcome to comment. Let me actually find some so you guys can see, because maybe some of you guys have not seen it yet. Give me 1 second to find an example of what I'm talking about here. So give me a second right here. So this is actually the founder, Captain Jack H. Bark. I am following him. I don't know why I'll just show you guys. I don't know why it's showing, but if you guys have not seen I should probably share my screen here. At the Barking Game, make sure to go shoot him a follow as well. This is the founder of the Barking Game, essentially, right? So this is how you do it, right? So I just made a post earlier this morning. GM H Bark power users, right? Who's barking today? So if you see here, this is how you get on the leaderboard, essentially, right? So basically someone comments to one of your posts, right? And then you have to basically comment a number, how much you want to send if you have the bark power once you purchased it. And then you do have to send it like this. So this is the correct format right here. Obviously you can post stuff after it or gifts or whatever, right? But you do have to have a number before H Bark or it will not work. I think someone else, Cosmic, shout out to you, 500 H Bark, right, and so on. So that is how essentially these people, let me pull it up really quick one more time. This is basically how you get onto it. So again, the website is hbark.club. This is one of the first, if not the first, SocialFi experiment, essentially, with tokens here on Hedera. But ultimately, if you really unpack this and what's really going on here, there is an opportunity. So let me jump back to X really quick to show you guys one more time. There is a massive opportunity here, right? All you have to do literally is just comment a number of how much bark power you have if you own the token. and the token cash tag essentially, right? And you could do this to anyone, and as long as they have their wallet, they're linked, right? They're verified. They're going to be able to actually claim tokens essentially from Hedera, right? Like to me, and obviously get set up on this leaderboard as well. So we're definitely going to be bringing on the founder, Ashe, very, very soon on our show. I do want to focus on our current interviews, of course, but we will definitely be getting this platform on our show very, very soon. I'm very much looking forward to it as well. So if you guys are looking forward to that, let me know if you were excited, if you guys will be jumping in, and let me know. Have you guys picked up some HBARC tokens? Of course, it's not financial advice, but we are just doing our research and seeing what's going on here in the world of social fi as well, right? So buy and hold HBARC or contribute to the liquidity pool, find someone being amazing on X, and then you could bark at them in a reply. And again, you'll be able to, at the end of the season, somewhere in here, it gives you more information as to just how it's going to go down. So yeah, I mean, you can add liquidity here, and then of course, here's the FAQ, right? Web3 social experiment with the goal of incentivizing community engagement using innovative tech tokenomics. And if you're just tuning in again, the website here is hbark.club. I'm really excited. I've been super bullish on SocialFi just across the board and other chains. And now that we have the first iterations of what it's looking like on Hedera, it is very, very exciting to actually see it just coming to life, seeing this ecosystem continuing to flourish and seeing more creators, innovators, and so on really continue to build here. Again, feel free to request to come up, hit that button on the bottom left if you are on the spaces, and then shoot me a DM if you want to come up. I can post the link to you in the DMs if you want to come up on the live stream as well. Let me actually check my DMs. I know sometimes you guys DM me, I don't see it right away, so apologies for that. Let me check it really quick. Okay, I don't see any DMs about coming up in the space for the show today, so no worries. Again, don't forget to like and retweet the show. Let's get into let's do some technical analysis first, since we did not cover it yesterday. I do want to make sure that you guys are up to date most days, right? Most of the time we are covering where I see the market going. So there is a post I do want to show you guys before I get deeper into it. And then if you guys remember, I have been saying, right, there are two scenarios that I'm really looking at. So let's pull up the fear and greed index, and then there's a very specific post I do want to show you guys. It's more about Ethereum. We'll see how Ethereum does this cycle. Let's see where. All right, so Bitcoin dominance right here, continuing to raise higher and higher, getting up to the 56% right here. Crypto fear and greed. So again, we're still at those levels in the mid 40s level, right? So usually we either see a drop once we see a lot of yellow, right? We saw it here about a year ago, and then after that we saw quite the pump, right? Quite the rise. So we're just waiting. Gotta be super patient on this one. So, and usually in the red and the yellow is the best times to be making your purchases as well. So I won't harp on too much. Just kind of giving you guys a little refresher on where we currently are. We're currently at the 45 level, which typically provides a great buying opportunity, not financial advice. That's just how it usually goes. So let me show you guys before we start getting into the candles, the charts, the stochastics, the RSIs, all that kind of stuff. Again, let's see where there's this really specific chart I want to show you guys. This one right here. So as you guys remember, let me pull up CoinMarketCap app really quick as well. I'm pulling up Bitcoin first, as you guys all know already. Bitcoin is going to be the leading indicator for crypto, for alts, all that kind of stuff, until we do see, until we see decoupling, right? Which we have not seen just yet. So Bitcoin, 61K, we have not seen any breakthrough of that 53,000 level. So I'm going to show you guys this chart. I'll do a quick chart of Bitcoin, and then I'm going to jump to Ethereum. I do want to show you guys something that really caught my eye. Of course, it could be nothing, and maybe it is nothing, right? But I do want to show you guys because there are two scenarios that I am looking for, right? You guys are familiar with the two scenarios if you have been tuning into our shows. If you're new here, welcome to the Web4 Roundtable. I am going to do my best this cycle, especially to make sure that you guys are up to date with what is going on in the ecosystem and Web3 ultimately. And so I do want to make sure you guys are more than aware of what's going on. So again, we have the stochastic RSI about to cross. It's so close. It'll most likely be crossing at some point in September. So if you guys have been following along very closely, I have been saying until Bitcoin breaks about this level here to the downside and or this level to the upside, I'm not going to really be too excited either way. We're literally like dead center too, which is super fascinating. Dead center in the middle, about that 63, 64 range, which right now we're sitting at 61, 61, or actually we're down here, 61 something. So just being patient, just kind of watching the chop, the consolidation, of course, as well. RSI again, still above 50, super bullish, super healthy. So here's the chart that I was looking at on Ethereum, which Ethereum usually follows Bitcoin pretty well. So this could be a very interesting turning point and catalyst for Bitcoin in particular. I haven't looked at these candles in 2016. So of course it's not 1-to-1, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to play out exactly, but super fascinating. Ethereum and the USD monthly candles are tracking the 2016 candles exactly. And if it continues to play out, this would suggest Ethereum is green in September and red through October through December. So this is kind of opposite of what I've been saying for scenario one, right? I think the opposite of this is going to happen in scenario one. But if we look closely, this might be the actual buildup for scenario two, which would obviously mean a little bit longer. So let me read the second point. Then in 2025, ETH turns green for a while. So let me open up this little chart if you guys couldn't see it clearly, and let's just kind of unpack it here. So again, this is ETH on the US dollar chart. So I don't really track the US dollar candle chart for any of the cryptos, but it does matter when you're looking at patterns and all that kind of stuff, right? So January, or where's it at? January, February, March, right? And then we have April right here. We have May, and then we have 3 months of red, right? June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And there was a massive drop in December, right? And then what did we see? As the poster here said, right? Then in 2025, ETH turns green, or whatever year, 2017, right? ETH turns green for a while. So if you just compare this, right? So this was this year, and we are currently right here, right? September we're in August. So this is the candle. Basically, this is where we are. And then we have our pump, right? Whatever that pump ends up being, maybe puts us in the 70 something thousand range. This is a really strong pullback, probably to the bottom of our channel, like 50 something thousand for Bitcoin in particular. This is how we would end the year, essentially. That's what this chart is saying. This is the December candle. And then January 2025, February 2025, March 2025, April 2025, May 2025. And then look at that. June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. So basically all through 2025, obviously this is Ethereum too. Basically the Pico top, based on this chart in particular, would actually be, if you want to take profits in this range, sometime in the middle, or if you guys remember scenario two was saying basically over the summer, right? This is the April top. This would be, obviously it's going to be really tough to take profits at this time. Just so many people are going to be like, well, there's no way this is the top, right? But watching this in particular, and people are going to be waiting, I don't know, this is like 2026 at this point, at some point over here. And I mean, it's a while before we get back to this level in particular. So basically what I said, right, when the stochastic RSI on Bitcoin crosses in April one more time, if we do have a pullback, like I said, right, this is what scenario two could end up being, where we're red at the end of this year. If we are red at the end of this year, chances are we follow this pattern in particular with Ethereum, and Ethereum follows Bitcoin. So basically looking at this as Bitcoin, and we have a massive pump, just like we did in the beginning of this year, right? We had a big pump in the beginning of this year, basically repeating year over year again. And then April would be that top. And of course, at the end of the year, I mean, you can just kind of ride the volatility, altcoins. This would be our actual alt season. So essentially 2025 would be the year where everything's just absolutely parabolic and crazy. And if you're holding anything going into 2026, you're just going to take loss after loss. Essentially, that's what this is showing from the 2016 through the 2017 chart. So very fascinating, very interesting. Our time is so close, depending on what these charts are showing us, and I can't wait to just kind of live those moments with you guys, because I want to be able to just cover as much wins as possible and opportunities, of course, as well. And I know all of you guys want to do that as well. So again, if we do see, let me just reopen it one more time. If we do see 3 months of red, October opposite basically of what I was expecting, October, November, December, which a lot of people have been saying and expecting, like myself, that we will see a strong green end of the year. If we don't, could very much be the pullback we see at the end of the year. A lot of people are going to be upset and scared, and then we see a massive rally going into the beginning of the year, just like what scenario 2 was, right? As I was saying, April would be the second cross up, essentially. So very fascinating. So let me actually jump on the Bitcoin chart here. So if you guys have been following along closely, let me move the stochastic up a little bit. Can I hide this? No. What's this? Nope, not like that. All right. Well, it's kind of hiding it a little bit, but you guys should be able to see. There you go. March, right? March right here. We had October on the monthly. That's a 6 month window, essentially, when the last time we actually had a cross. And then we had one in August, and then we had one in December. So it's really a 3 to 9 month type of deal. Sometimes it happens faster, sometimes it happens a little bit longer. It just really depends on where we are in the cycle. But on average, it's about a 6 month window. And right now we're tracking pretty much to a T. So September would be the 6th month. And of course, if it goes a little longer than it does, but basically what you're looking for is the blue to be crossing up above the orange for it to be super bullish. And if you're familiar with any candles, any charting, this is a hammer, which usually triggered is symbolism of a trend reversal. So that's very important to be aware of as well, especially on the monthly candles. The higher time frames essentially are much stronger. And as I said earlier in the show today, as long as Bitcoin's above this 50 level on the other side, historically, we are in a bull run, which we crossed about in September of last year above this 50 level. And we were below it since, where's the 50? We were below it since April 22nd. April of 2022. So we've basically been in bear market for a little bit over a year officially on the RSI, and then we were just in a massive downtrend for like a year from the previous highs, right, all the way up here in the 90s. So we have not reclaimed any of the momentum up there just yet. We touched recently in March in the 75 range, so we are looking to put in a new momentum top on the RSI, and of course reclaim that 90 level from like 3 or 4 years ago at this point. So we're gonna have to watch. We're gonna have to see what happens if we do have a cross down. I am expecting us to have quite a bit of blood, whatever that looks like over the next few months, which that chart I just showed you guys could completely invalidate scenario 1, which if you're not familiar, scenario 1 is basically we have a cross up here in September, October, November, December, we do fly above 73K. If that gets invalidated, we are going to know very, very soon. So stay up to date with our show and stay up to date with what's going on. We will be covering it here. Chances are first, if you're not already finding ways to learn about charting and technical analysis, all that kind of stuff. So if we do get invalidated, I do expect us to breach most likely the 53K level, and we'll probably drop into the 40s for some time. But as you guys know, the market is incredibly volatile. And if we do have those massive green candles in the beginning of the year, I do expect us to have a strong rally to whatever the Pico top is in the first quarter, going into the second quarter, and maybe even most of 2025 will be the massive bull run that pretty much everyone has been waiting for some time now, especially if you've been in the market like me for like 3 or 4 years at this point, right? If this is your first or second cycle, some of you guys have been here for some time, quite some time now. So you're very much looking forward to this and just been hopefully patiently waiting and not gotten shaken out just yet. So again, stay super level headed, stay completely unemotional about the market. And yeah, I believe your time is coming. There's a lot in store for this space, and I can only imagine if HBAR actually gets its marketing together. I think this Bark initiative with HBAR Club, this in particular with Ashe and then the community kind of rallying around it, being able to support one another, get people up on the leaderboard, that kind of stuff. I mean, I think this is a massive opportunity. There's quite a few opportunities I can actually start talking about, and some of the opportunities that I do want to just kind of highlight are a lot of our interviews here, right? We are going to continue to do more interviews, and I'm very much excited. We definitely will not be interviewing every single project or founder in this ecosystem. There's reasons we're going to have certain criteria, certain basics, certain fundamentals. So we're definitely not interviewing everyone, but the ones that we will be interviewing, I'd highly recommend doing your own research, digging a bit deeper, obviously listening to the interviews as well. And of course, if you have questions about any of our interviewees, you want to ask them questions, of course, during our live streams, make sure to leave your questions in the comment section below to let us know just what are your thoughts about the interviews, right? Are you going to get involved? Are you looking to pick up some of their tokens, that kind of stuff, right? All right, let's jump into some HBAR here. Then we're going to jump into some HBAR daily news again. Don't forget to like and retweet the show here today. It is the best way to show us some love and support. If you're finding any value out of our show as well, it means the world to me. All right, Hedera 0.05542 coming in at number 39 on coin market cap, 1.988 billion market cap here. Looks like we're at 71.75 tokens fully at full dilution here. All right, let's see what we're cooking with here. Let me pull up some charts. I'll be right back once it is fully loaded. All right, let's get TradingView going. Also, friendly reminder, if you are in the space and you're not planning to come up and speak, if you do want to follow along with what I'm showing you guys on the charts, feel free to jump in on the live stream as well. Should be in the Jumbotron. If it's not, let me actually tag it in the Jumbotron. I know sometimes I forget to tag it. Give me 1 second to tag it here. All right, should be in the Jumbotron. So again, if you're not coming up to speak, feel free to jump in on the live stream. I want to show you guys some more charts, more indicators, all that good stuff. All right, so stochastic RSI and the RSI as well. Also, let me know if you guys are still figuring out how to use the Bark system. Let me kind of give them one more shout out here. If you guys are still figuring out how to use it, again, it is one of the best ways moving forward as well, because we do get rewarded with the HBARK power and the HBARK token, it looks like, moving forward once the season is over. So if you guys have figured it out, feel free to leave a comment on our show if you'd like to show us some support for the show as well. I really appreciate it, on top of the likes and retweets, of course. All right, let's pull up the candles here. As you can see, HBAR on the fast, RSI is dropping quite rapidly. So I don't really expect a cross for another maybe month or two in comparison to Bitcoin. So again, you just got to kind of wait, just watch what happens. I've been saying I will not really re-enter too much. I'm starting to pick up some HTS tokens now that momentum's really dropping. But I'm not going to really make a financial decision for me personally until I do see the cross up. But once that point is going, a lot of your tokens are already going to start pumping. So once we get really low here, down in like the low tens, low teens, unless I see some form of a different sign where maybe the orange is going to cross even further down somehow, and HBAR momentum on the stochastic will go to zero, which is totally fine. It happens sometimes. It just hasn't happened since the bear market, essentially. If we do reach those levels, of course, that would essentially be the absolute bottom, the absolute best time to buy. So we're just going to continue to watch the momentum. And then, of course, we are currently sitting at about 42, which is this bottom bear market level. Here, we only dipped a little bit lower than 37. Basically, like the first bear market bottom. Here was the second one over here. So we're incredibly low on the momentum already for Hedera, and a lot of your other tokens are like this too. It's not just Hedera. Other tokens outside of Hedera, right, are seeing this. So none of this is really surprising or new information, right? We're not at the bottom yet, but we're very much close to it. And of course, until we see us or our RSI above 50, we're not officially in a bull run, altcoin wise, right? We haven't seen alt season play out fully just yet. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And of course, a lot of us are here in Hedera in particular, and a lot of altcoins. You do want to see alt season happening because, of course, you could be in Bitcoin and get your 5, maybe 10x, but of course, all of the altcoins could potentially, and DeFi, of course, could potentially net you quite higher, right? They're a lot more volatile than Bitcoin even is, right? So you guys want to see that. So stay tuned, stay up to date with what's going on. Don't forget to like, comment, retweet, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really does help our show here. All right. So candle wise, you guys can see here the candles are more or less following Bitcoin as well. So if Bitcoin is doing well, you want to see a lot of your alts following suit as well. So you can see another form of a hammer here, again, signaling a type of trend reversal. We just got to wait and see where this RSI wants to have its cross. And as I said before, we had a cross on Bitcoin in March. We had our cross in HBAR in April. It looks like right here, cross it down. And then in October, we had our other one. So it took about 7 months, I believe, for HBAR to have the next cross. So that was a little bit longer than Bitcoin. And then we had one in December. So December to October, I mean, that's like a 9-month one, right? So all these altcoins, they can be a little bit different, but historically on average, they're about 6 months. So Hedera might be a few more months out from an actual cross, an actual trend reversal, which if you guys are watching now, it could happen in December as the first chart I showed you guys with Ethereum as well. So again, stay tuned with what's going on. That'll be it for our technical analysis here today with Hedera and Bitcoin, but we still need to see a lot more. A lot is still to be desired, let's say, from the Hedera marketing across the board, and we need. We haven't really talked too much about Thrive. I'll just touch on it briefly here. I know they have a show tomorrow at like 6 in the morning for me or something, so I'm gonna try to make it. Let me see, and I know I said we're gonna start covering some of the Hedera Alpha. So did I like their show? I feel like I did. Yeah, it's right here. 9:30 a.m. EDT. So that's 6:30 in the morning. You can see right here for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. If I do make it, I'll let you guys know, of course, and we'll talk about it maybe tomorrow. We'll see after the interview. But I do want to know just a little bit more because I haven't really talked too much about it, and there's a reason for that, right? So they basically just said we'll talk about our current status, timelines, ways you can participate right now. So I'm going to kind of reserve my judgments, right? It's only been like 5 days or a week or something. It hasn't been that long. Like it's so new. There's still no Hedera integrations yet, so I'm not really focused on it. And then here's the other thing, and this is like the big driver. And if you're representing Thrive, if you're listening to our show here, I did reach out, of course, and I had conversations with you guys. So here's my thing with Thrive, and of course this can change. So this isn't a set in stone thing. Last I checked, but there's opportunities essentially for I think it's like 2000 HBAR. It was 2000 HBAR last I checked, unless it changed. For at least a 30-minute interview, you're like covering what's going on with different projects. Are they building on Hedera? That kind of stuff. But it's one per season, and every season's 3 months. And so 3 months for like 2000 HBAR for me, like I'd probably do it regardless just to make something, right? But to me, that's not going to incentivize someone to go out of their way. And it has to be like at least 200 listeners or something. I don't know if that many people would actually like take it that seriously for that many H bars or maybe just the criteria for it. So, and of course the quantity, right? The amount that you can submit. So if it's really a once a month, once every 3 month type of thing, I don't know how much traction, right? That's my main concern. Like how much traction is it actually going to give? Or is that the kind of traction that Thrive and the HBAR Foundation and the team, right? The advisory board, is that the kind of traction they're looking for? I don't know what the answer is. I hope that a lot of those questions will be answered tomorrow. I did get the confirmation for sure that it is one every 3 months. I did get confirmation as well that if it's not meeting the metrics or meeting what they are looking for. Of course, they can make adjustments. I did get that clarification in their Discord, but I haven't applied yet. Just full transparency, I haven't applied yet. I personally just, maybe I'm being a little bit uh, I don't know, facetious or something, but I'd rather apply once they have the Hedera integration, so that I can kind of just push it a little bit harder once they have the Hedera wallets on here as well. So everyone here in Hedera can actually push it. Because if they are mainly looking, here's like full transparency as well. If they're mainly looking for people outside of Hedera to support, to like just start talking cross chain, like I think that is a little bit backwards. And I'm just being super blunt, right? We have content creators here, we have spaces hosts, we have interviewers, we have arguably everything that is being looked for, from what I can tell, already here in Hedera. All we need essentially, and I can name names if that needs to be done, of people that just need support. And it's like I've done dozens, right? Not a couple, like dozens of these interviews for free, and I'm not asking for anything. Like I'll continue to do them. I'll continue to help the community. I really love this community. I want to see the community grow and thrive, right? Thrive Hedera. But seeing something like this, where it's like it's not really beneficial in any way, really, to me, or to a lot of the creators that I see here. And I saw other creators, I won't name names, just kind of voicing similar critiques, right? Similar ways to improve. I do believe that if just at first glance, if more than one interview opportunity can be submitted per creator, I think that would be a massive change. Of course, in terms of threads, blogs, articles, that kind of stuff as well. I think the same goes for that. I think we would see a lot more creators that would create more content along the lines of what Thrive Hedera, of what the foundation and anyone really involved is looking for. And I'm really curious as well. Certain other transparency markers, right? Like what is the wallet? Some people were asking me, asking on one of the posts that I made like a week ago. What is the wallet that has like 6 million H bar, right? What is uh, just like what are the metrics that we're going to be looking at, that kind of stuff. So I know it's only been a week, but it is important to ask the right questions appropriately and remain professional. So I'm in no capacity like mad or upset or going after Thrive or the foundation or any of these people, right? I think in some capacity this is something that could help the network, could help us grow and get more exposure, that kind of stuff. But it does need to be implemented in a certain way that creators are actually going to take it seriously and implement it in various ways, right? So if I'm one of the creators, if various creators are saying the same thing, I would hope that it is there's updates coming very very soon, right? Because as it stands now, it's not really worth too much, just personally, of my time to really like create too much on outside of what I'm currently doing, right? So I do want to make that very very clear. It's not that. I think it's like I'm trying to think. I think it's like $100 in the current price of H bar for that. And I'm not gonna like stick to 30 minutes. Right? I'm not gonna show in the interviews. If anything, I'll make the interviews longer, especially if they're paid. And again, shout out to our sponsors. Today, our show is sponsored by at Gilmore_States on Tuesday and Thursdays. Our show is sponsored by Mindband. So all of our sponsors, and we have a few more sponsors coming up very soon as well. Shout out to all of you guys in my DMs reaching out to me as well. You know who you are, of course. And yeah, I mean, you guys make this show that much better, and your support means a lot to me. And it really helps this show continue to move forward, continue to grow and reach that many more people and reach people here in Hedera and in Web3, right? Cross chain as well. So I'm excited for what Thrive can become. I'm not crazy excited what it is right now, because I do think that some updates are due for sure. But I'm going to give them the next space for sure. And I've made posts. I've voiced my opinion pretty clearly. I'm not sure exactly what else I can do outside of that, so I'm just going to be patient. I'm not rushing anything. I will definitely be open, honest. I will let you guys know my honest take, and of course, the more and more creators that we have here, and I do want to be completely honest too, right? I do want to see more cross-chain creators be incentivized. But if I'm here in Hedera and there's not like crazy liquidity to take it that serious, right? The other ones are like 100 or 200 H bar in rewards, right? Like I don't think anyone in Ethereum or Solana or whatever is going to really jump on that personally, especially if it's a one-time thing every 3 months. So that's my personal opinion. Brandon, Shady H Barbarian, shout out to you guys. I did see you guys comment here on the live stream. Appreciate both of you guys tuning in and everyone here on the show today. I hope you guys found our technical analysis. I try to cover every day outside of our interviews, so you guys are up to date with what is going on here in the world of the macro side of things, of course. So again, shout out to all of you. So we are going to start unpacking some more of the HBAR Daily Alpha before we wind down the show. Friendly reminder, we are on YouTube. Feel free to go and subscribe here in the bio. All right, let's jump into some of the Daily Alpha. Give me 1 second, just kind of peruse some of my likes here. We did have the Hedera Hackathon. I do want to touch on that because there were quite a few submissions. Pluto, I saw you in our alpha chats a little bit earlier, sharing a post. Did I like it? Let me go check really quick. I'm not sure if I liked it. I'm pretty sure I did, though. If not, give me 1 second to go like it so it gets brought up to the top of my screen. I do want to touch it because I was asking him what was going on. Okay, I did like it, so it should be on my feed. Give me 1 second to go find it. All right, let's see. Pluto, where is it at? Here it is. He said, here's my hackathon walkthrough. It was down to the wire, but I think this is a project I'm going to keep going with. I was seeing some teasers from various H Barbarians. Brandon, so I just gave him a shout out. I know earlier in his show, he was talking about the Hedera revenue as well. I did like the post. I got to go find it. Here it is. The Hedera H-Graphs, Hedera revenue dashboard. So we'll touch on that as well. I want to make sure you guys are up to date. We did cover the hackathon a couple times before it went live, partnered with at Angel Hack as well. So over 2,100 participants joined Hedera, which is absolutely incredible. And then, of course, judging is beginning now. So I cannot wait to see who's going to take the prizes, that kind of stuff. So again, stay tuned. But seeing that much excitement for Hedera is something that, of course, we just are lacking consistently, and we need to see more of that across the board. And I do believe fervently that what it is going to take is going to be taking. It is going to take the support and supporting the current content creators, the current leaders, the platforms, the founders, and so on here first. I do believe, and I'm just being honest here, I do believe us, if the vision is focusing on people elsewhere outside of Hedera, like I'm not going to name names, but I've heard this thrown around. Let's just say I've heard it thrown around that, hey, we're not going to really focus on the builders and the people here in Hedera because they're already doing it and they're doing it for free, right? And when I heard that, I was like, whoa, like not sure if that's the case or not. But I sure hope that's not the case, right? Like just because people are doing it for free doesn't mean it's just going to be some random passion project or whatever, right? For me, it is. Sure, I would love some extra support and make it even better. I'm sure a lot of other creators here would probably feel a similar way. I'm not speaking for anyone else, but definitely supporting the grassroots initiative, supporting retail at the end of the day. And we all are well aware retail is paying the bills at the end of the day. And of course, the Hedera revenue platform that just went live with Hatchcraft is proving that. So we'll touch on that in a little bit as well before we wrap up the show. But I do want to show you guys Pluto's little streamable here. I haven't really looked at it too much, but I did see some of the sneak peeks ahead of time. So let me make sure that my audio is on. It doesn't look like it is. So let me reshare my screen so we can get some audio going here. If he has audio on it, I don't know if he has audio on it, but shout out to Pluto. Shout out to everyone in the hackathon as well. There were some people that I actually did not know were in the hackathon.
Accounts. It'll load.
All right, so it looks like there is audio. So give me 1 second to restart it. So it's called the Grand Exchange. May I pop up the account here. So I did see sneak peeks before
here. It's a multiplayer experience.
So let's see what's going on here.
Players open here. I've got 2 instances of Hashpack. Connect wallet. Hit Hashpack here, and just pair with your accounts. It'll load all your tokens and NFTs and account info. Just pair this other one here. You can change your name to something. We'll call this test 1, and we'll call call this test 2. So you can create a room. This is kind of throwback to like early 2000s video games where people would create rooms and people would join them to trade certain items. So in this case, this room would be for Hangry NFT trading. So anyone who's interested in that would find that in the room list and be able to join that. So you click that, it'll join it. It pops up with the controls here. Pretty standard: forward, back, left, right, WASD. E is interact, and R is respawn. You can also chat. So when you chat, it shows up in the bottom left as well as kind of beside your character here. When you get close to someone, this green diamond will show up. That means they're your interact target. So that's only above one player at a time. If you hit E, it opens the interact menu. You can trade with them. So it's waiting for a response. You can see here, test 1 wants to trade with you. If we accept that, that brings up the trading screen. Pretty standard kind of trading screen here. You can add items. So in this case, we'll add jam for it should show NFTs here as well, but for time reasons, loading all those different kinds of NFT assets was out of scope. So you can add a token. It just defaults to 1, again, in the interest of time. You can see here they're offering 1 jam, and we can just be like, okay, we accept that. Over here, we can accept here. And what's going on here on the back end is we're keeping track of all of these variables. So like all the items being offered for trade are in the server. And when both players accept, it generates just a basic transfer transaction. It creates bytes, sends bytes to one of the players. So in this case, it's this one. So we can see you'll receive 1 jam, so we can approve that. It takes those signed bytes, gives it back, and then pops up in the other player's wallet. So this is all kind of real time, and you can approve and execute that. So you can see now in the history, we sent 1 jam. So that's all Hedera native transactions, and it's a brief overview of how the core mechanics here work. I do eventually see this turning into like a game with gameplay. This is kind of a just seeing how you can work with the Hedera SDK in a game engine and stuff. I think the one benefit here is that this Play Canvas engine is a JavaScript browser-based engine. So I was able to use like the JavaScript Hedera SDK, the Wallet Connect stuff, all out of the box. And yeah, I think this is a great use case. There's tons of games like this, like RuneScape, Habbo Hotel, all kinds of browser-based games that this could relate to. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, have fun.
Okay, so full transparency. Let me stop the video here. I did not. Gosh, I'm actually kind of blown away, kind of processing it here. So the Grand Exchange, it's on testnet. I think Pluto mentioned something about going mainnet at some point. I don't remember when, though. He did say he did process it, hackathon walkthrough. It was down to the wire, but he does plan on keeping up with this. So regardless if it's Pluto or whoever's building it, here's what's the most exciting thing I think I'm taking from all this. And again, shout out to Pluto, obviously one of the co-founders here of Hashpack, and you can see Hashpack integrated with this. When people talk metaverse, right, I almost never saw any wallets really integrated with anything making purchases. I'm sure there was some iterations at some point, but was it as fast, and are the transactions failing almost nonstop in comparison to something like Hedera? The answer is probably no. And so seeing something like the Grand Exchange, this would essentially be one of the first tastes, if you will, of when people want to talk about a metaverse and someone actually very much talented like Pluto. And there's plenty of Unity, 3D devs, full stack devs, that kind of stuff, right? That could build this out in a much deeper way, right, than even what's currently built, which looks awesome to me already. Seeing something like this is why I'm so bullish on Hedera, because you saw the transactions live in in the trades, right, in the Hashback wallet, in any wallet essentially, right, using the Hedera native layer, right, whether it's tokens, the Hedera consensus service, right, hash nodes, whatever, right. This is just the tip of the actual iceberg of what Hedera is going to bring to the table. And as I always say, right, you're not bullish enough on what is coming. And man, this hackathon, maybe it's just me. Someone let me know if you feel the same way. But this hackathon seems to have been a lot more hype than a lot of the ones prior. Maybe I've just completely tuned out the other ones or missed the other ones. But there's a lot of creators, builders that I guess I didn't realize before were actually creating some very, very interesting things. So shout out to Pluto once again. If you guys aren't following him for whatever reason, at Pluto_Hashpack, Chief Technology Officer at Hashpack. And shout out to him. All right, so we covered Thrive a little bit as well. Pluto said this kind of thing is what makes retail thrive. No pun intended, not scripted. Bring in the builders. Again, 2,100 participants. I can't wait to hear more about this. And then I believe Brandon HR Bull, he mentioned there were over 3,000 with Andrew Force, and he mentioned over 3,000 people in Africa, developers over there with the Hashgraph Association. So basically, the more builders, the more devs onboarding to Hedera over a long enough time, right? I do believe that produces some pretty exciting, pretty exponential growth, if I do say so myself. So very fascinating. Scott Ang, shout out to you, brother. You've been a big supporter of what we're doing here. Make sure to go shoot him a follow as well. Scott Tangzalius, make sure to shoot him a follow as well. He's a super active member in our alpha chat. Again, if you're not in our alpha chat already, shoot me a DM after this show, or shoot me a DM right now if you are seriously interested in getting involved with what we are cooking up here. He mentioned he barks daily to the max limit. He's using HBark to get more, but since he's used most of his tokens in the LP, he's not sure if he gets less now that the price has gone up. So you do get a bonus if you are pairing the tokens with the LP. So if you're not in on HBark, maybe you're just tuning into the show. Earlier in the show, I did unpack a little bit about HBark, and we will be covering them on our show very, very soon. I'm very much looking forward to Ashe coming up on our show very soon and getting him interviewed. I think HBark is going to be one of the first, if not the first, social finance opportunities really for a lot of the creators, the platforms, and so on here. And again, here, let me just touch on it because I'm really bullish and excited for what they're doing. Again, I'm not paid to share any of this stuff. I really am just bullish on the Hedera ecosystem and what's going on here. So you can see so many amazing creators, founders, community members, platforms, you name it, up on here as well, and rightfully so, right? You see so many of them here. And again, shout out to all the H-Barbarians that have been using it, barking and jumping on it. It does refresh every 15 minutes, so get on it. I'm happy to share the interview very, very soon as well. So let's jump back in to some more HBAR Daily news. There's always so much going on in the ecosystem as well. It's definitely a bit challenging to keep up. And as I said before, we are going to transition the show a little bit differently once things start really picking up in terms of alpha calls, plays, that kind of stuff. That's really what my focus is at the end of the day. But being able to just stay up to date with the latest opportunities and news, right? We have Lazy Superheroes. I didn't realize that they were posting in the hackathon as well. So let's touch on this as well. You guys aren't in on what's going on with Lazy Superheroes or keeping up to date, make sure to go shoot them a follow. Go check out what they're doing at Superheroes Lazy, just as it's spelled. Nothing crazy here. They submitted their entry for the Hello Future hackathon. So it's called Lazy Trade. I'm not sure if there was a video. I don't remember if there was a video, but basically with or without a specific recipient, very similar to what Pluto actually showed with the trade. Now, I'm not sure if what Pluto showed had the secure trade or not, if there was a limit, but it looks like the one that Lazy Superheroes built does not have a limit. Pluto, if you're listening to the live stream, I know I don't see you in the space, but if you're on the live stream, let me know in the live stream. I'll highlight your comment if you're listening. Let me know, is the platform that you built there, does it have a expiry on the trades? I'm more than happy to highlight it here as well if you are able to share it now. Lazy Superheroes mentioned, probably DJ posted this, looking for a solution to create secure trades without the time limit. Let us know if you want it on mainnet. So this must have been the post I was looking at for mainnet. So apologies if I misquoted earlier on Pluto's development. It was this one in particular. It looks like they could put this one up on the mainnet. So as you can see here, some trades, creating new trade without time limitations. I think this alongside like the ease of airdrops moving forward with one of the newest hips, being able to just kind of integrate with your wallets, Hashpack, whatever wallet you might be using in this space. That's going to be a massive game changer for us here in terms of just overall user experience and of course, onboarding. We want to be able to make the onboarding process, right? Those touch points that we always talk about here. What are the main touch points for people when you are onboarding to people to Hedera? Are they buying NFTs? Are they buying tokens? Are they jumping on platforms? Are they picking up a wallet? Which wallet are they choosing, right? All those kinds of questions, especially if you are one of the main people onboarding to Hedera. Massive shout out to you. And you know who you are. And a lot of you, I know who you are as well. And hopefully our shows here, right? Shout out to all the content creators here. Hopefully our shows are onboarding people to Hedera. And if you ever have questions, my DMs are open. If they're not open for some reason, tag me, at me, comment on a post. I'm more than happy to jump in and help you guys get onboarded to the ecosystem as well. All right, we're gonna start wrapping up the show here. So let's get a couple final points here. We did cover that one already. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much. Carlos, again, if you guys are not following Carlos for some reason, make sure to go shoot him follow right now. Literally exit the show and follow him right now. He is the founder of WiseKey and Seal SQ. So again, if you're not following him, go turn your notifications on. He's literally doing the most here with Seal SQ and WiseKey, the rise of autonomous aerial vehicles, AAVs. This use case for Hedera, connected with SpaceX, and of course Neuron as well, are probably like up there along the top 5, top 10 use cases. Once they are live, once they are processing transactions on the network, are probably going to be up there for my favorite use cases on Hedera, period. So that is something that I'm very much looking forward to. Again, you want to stay up to date with these use cases and being able to show them some love and support as they're continuing to build here on Hedera, and of course partnered with the Hashgraph Association. Then it looks like, I haven't looked too deep into it, so I'll just kind of touch on it here. But it looks like wise.art. I actually haven't even looked at it yet, but I did like it, so I must have missed it. Looks like they are still collaborating with the Hashgraph Association. So if you're not familiar with the Hashgraph Association as well, make sure to go shoot them a follow. _Hashgraph significantly strengthens the growth of wise.art, and at the same time moves the current platform to a full Web3 version using the functionalities of the Hedera network. So as I said before, they are partnered with Hedera via the Hashgraph Association. Let me see what this website, oh, okay, it's pretty catchy for sure. I don't know what I'm looking at. Looks like a cell, blood vessels. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe it's just AI. Okay, navigate, alien, short translocation. Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at, but it's cool. It's definitely something up my alley in terms of maybe some space stuff. We'll see, but it's definitely different. I got to go look deeper into what this actually is. Let's see. Is there anything? No, I don't see anything Hedera related, but I got to look deeper into it. Not sure what it is fully outside of, actually, just let me skim it. Creating an art marketplace, more secure, efficient, accessible than ever before. So it looks like we have a new art marketplace. Definitely gonna have to look into it more after the show. Looks like wise.art is the link that you're gonna want to go check out with them as well. There was another post I want to touch on with Brady, and then I think we'll start wrapping up here. So I made a couple comments. Oh, and of course Hashgraph's HGraph's revenue dashboard. I do want to touch on that before we go as well. So give me 1 second. I did look at it a little bit during it's Brandon D's show. earlier, but I was working on some other stuff, so I didn't look too deep into it. So we'll cover it here as well. Let me just skim this here. So Brady, he says, in emerging technology, it's about meeting the market where it exists right now and evolving with it. Hedera loves to be above crypto as it exists today and will miss the boat if they don't play ball. I just asked, right? I'm not being. Oh, you know what? I shared the wrong tab, huh? I asked, right? What is it going to look like for Hedera to be playing ball, essentially, right? Not being sarcastic, just asking genuine questions here. And again, shout out to Brady for his responses. He's always open, honest about what he thinks as well. So I retweeted this one. The Hedera organization acknowledging native Web3 ecosystems, protocols, devs, DeFi, etc. So acknowledging these ecosystems essentially, right? Heavily leading into catering to this audience, which I said before, right? We want to be able to see these native ecosystems, these native creators, and so on, right? Devs and so on, being catered to because this is the most important persona. Enterprise is a money suck that does not generate revenue. This, and then I actually asked him a little bit after this, but this is something we've been talking about, right? If retail is the one only paying the bills, like, is enterprise gonna step up to the plate? Is it just something that we don't know just yet? So actually, I'm just gonna get ahead of myself. I might as well read it because I know where the conversation is gonna go. So I just said super concerning, right? If this is the next step needed, which we all more or less know it is the next step, will we have some time before the peak go top? Who has the influence to make this happen? So where I think he mentioned Charles. Maybe I'm missing something here. So let me just jump on this one really quick. I'm not trying to open his account. Give me 1 second here. I misclicked. All right. So he basically just said, look, in emerging tech innovation, starts early on things that look like a toy, then it evolves, matures, and incumbents end up collapsing into those standards, right? So without liquidity, unique innovation, etc., happening on Hedera, it won't be the go-to place when enterprise does eventually collapse. And so this collapsing into of whatever the standards are, liquidity and innovation, is Hedera. So that was my question before, right? Like, is Hedera the place, and our little tagline, right, for our show, the place to be in Web3? Is Hedera the place to be in Web3? I believe it is. But do the enterprises believe that? I believe a lot of retail here, we've drank the Kool-Aid. We believe in the technology. We've built on it. We know what the technology is capable of. But all of retail doesn't necessarily believe that. And we're more or less talking about devs at this point, right? We're not talking about just random degens gambling into the next shitcoin on another chain, right? We're actually talking about people building the future of finance, building the future of what this space is becoming. And if a lot of degen, or if a lot of devs believe that on retail, okay, that's great. And like, that's incredible. That's amazing. I don't know how far it's going to get us. There's a lot of conversations in different ways where that'll lead us. But at the end of the day, if enterprises collapses into specific standards, is Hedera going to be in that conversation? And does that conversation start with our governing council? I don't have the answer to that. So that's why I asked here, since all we get is minutes from the governing council meetings, is there any actual way to measure if they are using or planning to use the network, right? I've been saying for years at this point, I think we're going to be okay if the governing council is using the network and planning on purchasing tokens, tokenizing on the network. The last governing council minutes in June talked about Charles basically moving towards that direction with the council members on tokenizing use cases on the network, right? But I thought that was years ago. So if that's a newer thing, like, how much longer would that actually take, especially if this space takes years in terms of enterprises to actually build on the network else, and if all we're going to get is breadcrumbs essentially from the governing council minutes, then maybe we do have to rely that much more on retail, which means retail needs that much more support and incentives and so on, right? Which is why we covered Thrive earlier in the show. So Brady, he mentioned it's hard to tell. Wish we had more transparent governance around use cases. It's tough because I recognize, let me zoom in, so just in case you guys are on the live stream, you can't really see it. It's tough because I recognize they are quite limited on disclosing if an enterprise company is in development phase, essentially, right? So I'm fine with that. I'm aware of that. We've all more or less covered this before already, but it is still tough nonetheless, and it is going to get tougher depending on what kind of news is or is not, especially if we don't have a full governing council panel by the end of the year, if that's what was touched on, right? Or Charles, I don't want to be name dropping too much here, but Charles mentioned after 3 weeks, right? After his article dropped, he would be doing spaces. Last I checked, he's not on spaces. If he is, then of course that's on me for not fully being in the loop on that one. But I just said this, right? I'd love to hear Charles' thoughts on this when spaces. Brady, shout out to Brandon as well. I think he's been a great advocate for what it's worth around many of these concepts, plus generally aligned from what I've seen. I agree with this as well for what it's worth. It's a tough position to be in. I don't think he single-handedly can move the mountain needed for the shift, and I haven't actually followed up with this conversation because I stepped away from my phone for a bit there. But I don't know. I don't know to be bullish or bearish on this either because although it is a tough position to be in, if Charles cannot move the mountain needed for the shift, then either who will or will we as in the community leaders, the community that's showing up every single day. So that's something that I want to unpack a bit more in our future shows and continue to talk about. Let's jump over to the HGraph dashboard, the revenue, HederaRevenue.com. There it is. I do want to unpack future on just kind of what it's going to look like, but I am going to wait till tomorrow at minimum. I want to give them the Thrive Hedera team, the advisory board, right? So we have Elaine Song, we have Ed Marquise and Groff, Jake. I'm not sure if anyone else is on the advisory board, but I'm more than happy to join and support if possible. If they'll have me, of course, whatever that process will look like, I'm more than happy to support. But I do think some pretty big changes ought to happen. I'm not being negative. I don't think I'm being too negative on it. I think I'm being really honest about it for creators to take it seriously. And maybe people that won't consider themselves creators, I think that's a big win too. If you don't normally host shows or create content, blogs, articles, threads, what have you, like I think people should be incentivized to do that, right? So I've seen a few people start making some more content, but I think we need to see quite a bit more across the board as well. So let's throw up the all time, and then I would assume I haven't done any research on this yet. I would just assume this wallet has to do with oh my gosh, Atma. So I'm assuming this is Atma. If it's not Atma, Brandon or anyone with HGraph, feel free to let me know if this wallet is something else and it's not Atma. But it looks like all-time Hedera 1.329 million. I didn't listen to Brandon's show 100% this morning. I only listened to part of it. I did hear his take on it. If you guys didn't listen to his show, shout out to him. Make sure to go tune into his show at It's Brandon D. I think he does a great job here in Hedera. It is the Atma Payer account. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you guys did see Brandon's post here. So yeah, Atma, you guys can see, right? So I'd assume it would have been much higher than this for the all-time, and that's kind of what Brandon was saying as well there. Obviously, it's higher with Atma as well, right? 6.4. You take it out, and it's about maybe 20% or less of it. I still need to kind of just unpack these as well. So HTS 31%, and then whatever other is, I don't know how much is included in other, like if there's anything that really stands out for other, but that's basically another third, right? And then we have HCS, consensus, and then the smart contract service, which is probably going to be a lot of that saucer swap transactions. So very fascinating. 1/5 of the income is essentially saucer swap, probably, and a lot of the smart contract calls, maybe tier bot, that kind of stuff, right? Hedera token service, we have a lot of NFTs. I'm really curious the breakdown of this one in particular when it comes to NFTs, trading volume, right? And then consensus service. We're going to have more Hashinals. We have our Cosmonodes on Hashinals, right? If you guys are familiar with them. And then we have a bunch. I mean, we just have a bunch of HCS as well. So let's see. And then look, once we turn Atma back up, HCS would be Atma essentially, right, on the consensus, and there's no surprise there. 82% there. Let me jump over here to deposits as well. 73%, staking's 11%, and then nodes is 16% as well. So we're just looking at all time here. Let's see. Maybe we'll do another show and dedicate a lot more time to this because we're a little bit over the hour mark I'm trying to keep these to about an hour, but I'm very curious over, let's say, all time, and then for the last year, the last quarter, I'm curious how these have actually changed. And a lot of them are within about a 5 to 10% range, but we do see a massive shift on the consensus service. So that 1% is quite low for the last quarter, last month, same thing. Yeah, so the consensus service definitely low once you remove Atma, but then when you add Atma, it's the biggest one. So definitely an interesting pattern there. And then, of course, deposits, we want to see more of this. Of course, the more revenue means the more rewards for nodes, for more staking and so on. And of course, we do believe here on our show that we should up the staking rewards to further reward the platforms and the people securing the network, which of course it is retail at the end of the day paying the bills. Well, again, I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Don't forget to like and retweet the show here today. I appreciate you guys tuning in here to the Web4 Roundtable episode 241. If I don't catch you guys later today in our alpha chat, maybe posting some posts, barking at you guys, that kind of stuff, I'll catch you guys tomorrow, 5 p.m. EST. The place to be in Web3 here at the Web4 Roundtable. Much love, you guys, and I will catch you all tomorrow. We do have another interview with the Mindbend team at 5 p.m. EST. Much love, you guys, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Peace, y'all.